Right.
Wait, quick question.
Yeah.
Why is the name of the podcast that?
Doubtfully Optimistic.
It was Nathan's idea.
It's good because it's.
Okay. I just thought it was Andrew's.
If Andrew says to me, you should watch Detective Pikachu.
Oh, okay.
Then I'll be doubtfully optimistic about watching it.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. That makes more sense then. It being Andrew's 2 words that I thought he'd put together.
To be fair, I'm only sometimes convinced you actually listen to what I say.
I always listen to what you say, I just don't always believe it.
Fair enough. Great way to put it.
Right then, so it's recording.
Previously on Doubtfully Optimistic, we told you everything that
Flash?
Yes, previously on The Flash, aka Doubtfully Optimistic. We told you everything you already knew about Star Wars. One of Nathan's toys apparently committed suicide. I tried to end the podcast 4 times, unsuccessfully, and Sam spent 150 quid on Godzilla.
I did. Do I regret it? Nope. No, I do not. This is the this is the Criterion Collection, which is 15 Godzilla films from 1954 to 1975. It's a whole book about all of them.
That is very
Got
sexy.
some really cool artwork. And then, at the very end, you got all the DVDs. It was worth it, and I regret nothing at all.
Have you watched any of them yet?
None of those. I've watched, in the actual films, I've watched Godzilla and Godzilla Raids Again, so the first 2 ever Godzilla films, and Rodan, because I'm watching them in chronological order. And now I'm waiting on Mothra to arrive, and I will watch that, and then I can continue by binge. But otherwise, all the new Godzilla films I have watched, and I think that is the segue for our topic to the Monsterverse. I think is our topic today.
So, today on Doubtfully Optimistic, I am once again joined by Nathan, Sam, and Ty, and we will now start talking about the Monsterverse, which encompasses the films Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla King of the Monsters. So, take it away, Sam.
Is King Shark. Oh, sorry.
So am I starting, yes? Yeah?
Yes, because it is your favourite franchise.
It is,
I
it
thought we were just talking about each. I didn't know we were doing a ranking of them because
we are
all
not.
have the exact same ranking.
We are not. We're
I've only watched one of them, so...
We're just generally talking
You've watched
about
the
them.
first one, haven't you? The first
No, I've only watched...
King of the
I've only
Monsters.
watched Kong.
Oh, Kong.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You only watched the best one.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy all of them. They're definitely better than what Netflix has to offer with Planet
I
Godzilla,
want to watch it.
because they're trash.
The 3D anime one.
They're crap. All 3 of them are terrible. They are.
All right.
They're worse than the 1997 Godzilla
Kong,
film,
King of the
Oh, the
Jungle?
Matthew Broderick one.
which I enjoy. That was my first ever
Roland Emmerich film.
kaiju film. I remember I've watched that movie about 7
Is it
times.
a kaiju film though?
Yeah, it's because
They
it's
got given a list of things by the Japanese creators that they should incorporate, and they ignored every single one.
But now it's been rebranded. If you look at it in Japan, I think slowly moving over to America and places like that, it's been rebranded to Zilla, no longer Godzilla, and Zilla is now a new character in the universe. So in the movie Godzilla Final Wars, I believe, the character
Godzilla in
Zilla
it. So
appears
one of the
as
kids
its own character.
of
So
the-
it's no longer a Godzilla film, it's a sub category
It doesn't
film of the
even look like
kaiju.
Godzilla in the
It's a
film.
Roland Emmerich film.
So yeah, it's been completely rebranded now as just simply Zilla, and yeah, that's what it ties to. Ty is disappeared.
Can't
He
wait
just
for Zilla
didn't
versus
enjoy that.
Kong.
Yeah, but in that Zilla film, Godzilla doesn't even look like Godzilla. It just looks like a giant T-Rex.
And that's why it's been rebranded as Zilla. That is
No, it's just
why
it's just
been.
terrible CGI.
That's why he's
terrible
called Zilla.
CGI.
It doesn't even look like a scientist.
It's just terrible CGI.
The CGI wasn't that bad.
It's okay for 99
Yeah, for the time it
or
was.
98 even.
But Jurassic Park came out like what 5 years before that, and it had way better CGI.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
not
but
those
that's
animatronics.
Stan Winston as Bilbo.
Yeah.
All right then. So shall we get on to the actual Monsterverse?
Yes. Yes.
Grodd versus King Shark.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that.
So that was pretty shit. Oh, we're not.
Did they actually do that?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
won the
okay.
most
Yeah.
recent episode of Flash.
I didn't
Grodd
watch
fights
it.
King Shark.
I
Season
haven't watched it
5.
since 4-2 when he took a car apart. And I said, no, I'm done.
It was just basically like 30 minutes of build up for like a 5-minute CGI fight.
Yeah, just a clusterfuck of CGI.
It sounds awesome.
It's
No.
something.
It sounds awesome. It's King Shark. It's awesome.
But just the budget is for a
Oh, no.
3D animated gorilla. But a good budget
Yeah, but
for a 3D animated gorilla.
It's
It's
network
Kong
TV though.
Skull Island.
Yes, it is.
Which
Yes,
is
it is.
Which has Tom Hiddleston as a puckish rogue discovering jungle.
John Goodman as that scientist that just wants to prove monsters are real.
Yeah,
And
he
John
finds
C. Reilly.
like, oh, I wish I'd
Who is
found
a
them.
1940s weeaboo.
I think
Yeah.
that's the coolest
You
part
can never
of
go.
the film that's actually legitimately good and not like schlocky fun good. I like the idea that him and the Japanese guy crashed, even though the Japanese guy looks like a woman, and for a long time I thought it was.
That that was a good.
You can never go
idea.
wrong with John Goodman.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about John C. Reilly, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Or
Again,
him,
you can't go
or
wrong
him
with John
either.
Goodman. And then,
Can't
of
remember.
course, Samuel Jackson, isn't it?
Who's that?
Mm.
And
Ace Windu.
Brie Larson as well.
Well, you wouldn't know Samuel Jackson's
I
in it
liked
because he
when
isn't
she-
shouting the N-word every 5 minutes.
I liked when she lifted the helicopter and then
Oh, wait,
she used the force and it flew, and then Kong was stood there and he was like, "Whoa!" Right, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Totally.
exactly.
Pretty sure.
Right.
I'm pretty sure she was Captain Marvel in that as well.
Yeah, I think so. She has the same
That
abilities,
explains why she's so terrible at taking photos.
but she is somehow good at shooting a flare gun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's easy. You just
you just
point it.
point it,
Point and shoot.
snipe it. You pull a JFK level shooting from about like half a
Yeah.
mile away.
Well, it's a flare, so the shot naturally bends, just like JFK bullet.
Yeah, yeah. It's 100% what happens. It's yeah. So I think we'll start off with that.
Yeah,
seeing
you're
as
moaning about the literal applications of a scene where a woman shoots a flare at a giant dinosaur.
it's the lesser of two evils in that scene. But yeah, we might as well start off with this, seeing as chronologically it takes place first in the Monsterverse in
73.
73, yeah. So
Because
Viet-
it's just at the end of the Vietnam War.
yeah, Vietnam had just
Yeah.
ended. So
Yes, and the film opens with two men landing on Themyscira. And then there's three consecutive crash zooms on one eye.
yeah. So if you couldn't tell, Nathan has taken extensive
No, I
notes
haven't. This is all in my head.
on the film. Ty and Nathan, well, obviously Nathan,
Andrew.
Ty and Andrew have also taken some notes, and me, I'm just going from
Oh,
memory.
me.
Hasn't
I've just
taken
jotted
notes,
down
Andrew's
parts
just got
that
my
are-
notes.
Yeah.
Has he actually?
Somewhat of
But he just
Fair
sent me the previously on segment.
yeah.
And even that,
So
I could
get
barely
writing
read it.
credit.
You get it right, yeah.
Oh. Skull Island is the land where God did not finish creation, which makes no sense. But that's okay. You know, that's fine.
Yeah.
Also, the shape of Skull Island on the map is different to the actual shape.
Is it?
Look, I did not notice that.
And they persuade the director of the CIA, whatever, to fund them because they might find the cure for cancer.
I mean, it is
They clearly
America in
didn't.
the 70s, so
Anything can be the cure for
And
cancer in
because
that
they want
age.
to beat the Russians before they get a map of it.
yeah. Yeah, that's enough to convince the Americans
And then
in the
Sam Jackson
70s.
drinks a Budweiser. And Budweisers are cool.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
But my biggest thing, which is kind of the pitch of the film, I imagine, is just do Vietnam tropes with giant monsters instead of Japanese or Vietnamese even.
And it works. It works. It's a good setting. Great soundtrack. Can't go wrong with a...
Yes, no, the songs don't play for long enough though.
No. I think the longest they play for is the paranoid scene, the where they drop the bombs. Which is a good scene.
Very long.
It's a good... Well done.
So wait, is that when the helicopters first drop the bombs on the island?
Yeah, they're mapping out.
If you notice, in that Kong doesn't actually attack the helicopters until they start dropping the bombs.
Yeah,
until they start engaging the animals.
Bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just protecting his home.
Yeah. So as soon as they threatened the wildlife in that area, he was just like, "Fuck that!" and just threw a lovely tree.
Just
because he's king of the jungle.
Straight through, because
through that helicopter.
The kaiju were put on Earth to protect
Nathan doing
Earth.
something like that if he had the strength.
That is their purpose in life.
I've thrown trees before. If you encounter my wrath and mess with nature, I will throw a tree at you and give you an anime zoom.
Indeed.
Oh dear.
Token Asian for box office. That's a good note. There's just one, we just randomly have this Asian researcher on our team today. No reason.
Fun fact, her and the other scientist both appear in Godzilla King of the Monsters as an older versions of themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And they both are the ones studying Mothra.
Corey Hawkins' character.
Because Asians don't age.
No, especially not her, because she's from a special family. The protectors of Mothra.
Her blood runs thick with the blood of monsters.
Yes, it's a family of twins. That's a...
And then there's just Corey Hawkins randomly aged into Joe Morton.
Yeah, it works. It's a nice subtle nod. Keeps it...
But yeah,
going for that end credit scene.
This was less than subtle about its ties to Skull Island.
Well, it needed to set up Godzilla versus Kong, so it did its job. Introduces Skull Island as one of the Monarch outposts. Shows Kong on live footage, and shows that he doesn't actually leave Skull Island at the when Ghidorah does his big call. He stays on Kong Island, Skull Island.
I was gonna say that Kong didn't seem like the type of guy to just go around destroying cities just because of Ghidorah.
It's because he is peaceful, like Mothra, and well, not Godzilla, but they
like us.
The top dog kaiju, and then
the real question is that a monkey?
Is he a monkey man? Is that a monkey?
Is that a monkey?
Is that a monkey?
We don't know. We don't know. But it is the land where God forgot to finish creation or something. Did not finish, say, monkey. Maybe.
Even though it puts into perspective, does God actually exist in the Monsterverse? Seeing as
probably not,
because all of the kaiju were the antibodies of the Earth. That's what they're described as.
Anyway, there's a line in the film. Someone says, "Run to the side, idiot!" When they're running away from Kong. That's a clever line because there's the trope of
people running in a
straight line.
Yeah, run to the side, idiot. I've also got Great Monster versus Monster. This is like the best one where the monsters fight the monsters and it actually looks good. Because King of the Monsters, it looks terrible and rubbish and boring and clunky, and Godzilla sucks at fighting.
Sam just looks so triggered right now.
He just gets beaten up the entire film, and then he's like, "Oh, but I have thermonuclear breath now."
Because Ghidorah is stronger than him.
It doesn't matter.
It does. It's a three-headed dragon.
Fights the other one.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're stronger. If you got the strategy, you're winning.
Yeah,
if you got strategy, you're winning.
To be fair, I don't have the full history of the franchise, but I felt like three-headed alien dragon that breathes lightning was a little far-fetched.
Nah, it's fine. It's cool. It's just the fact
What?
that
And a like
Godzilla
a
gets beaten
60-foot
up.
gorilla isn't?
He gets beaten up the whole film, and then he just randomly shoots blue instead of red, and that's it. You know.
Don't you mean the other way round?
No, I don't. He shoots blue at the end.
He shoots.
Oh, he shoots red at the
red,
end.
and because he
Frankly,
gets.
It's just as dumb either way. So there's a guy who washes his face in the water, and it's up to his ankle height. Then Kong shows up, and it's up to Kong's ankle height, and then a giant squid comes out of the water. So I don't really know how ponds work. I guess they're just infinite.
They would be stepped, but not that severely.
It's physics. It's physics. Because Kong stepping his ankle into the water just increased the volume.
It would technically do that, but not enough for
the squid to already be under it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little far-fetched.
That's not how buoyancy works.
But I mean, it's a decent scene.
Anyway, Kong is God. He's also king. He also befriends a woman, which is a nice reference to the classic films.
Original one, yeah.
Yeah. Giant stick insect. Pretty cool. Pretty
Yeah.
creepy.
Oh, the bamboo spider.
Yeah.
That was a sick
was
design.
It's probably the best monster in it, I think. Better than Kong.
Yeah. Like,
It's the reveal of, like,
the skull crawlers. They were decent.
No, the guy that had the bamboo through his
the
whole body. Oh.
big spider thing. No, the skull crawlers weren't too bad. They were quite decent.
I mean, they look like. Oh no, I can't really see that.
But pterodactyl deaf big lols. That's the scientist getting ripped apart in front of the sun.
Oh yeah.
John C. Reilly shows up halfway through the film and steals it.
Yeah.
That's true.
John Goodman's death is great.
Yeah, that's a good scene with the camera flash
good.
in the. That one's
Doesn't
a really.
make any sense though because
the reflection in the
would only
camera
work about 5 times and then burn out and die. But it's supposed to be he looks at the picture and sees there's a monster behind him, but all he does is continue to stare at the flash.
Yeah.
On the camera, he never actually looks at the photo.
No.
Yeah.
So you have to assume that it's the metal that he's looking at and sees a reflection.
Yeah, that would make more sense because it's quite reflective. Well, it's a cool scene either way. It's subtle detail.
I put napalm ! Exclamation mark!
Well, the smell of napalm in the morning.
He gets angry because they're blowing up trees. So while I was watching it, I just imagined his roars to be translated as, "Can you stop blowing up the trees, please?"
He is the Lorax. He speaks to the trees.
Really, that politely.
Yeah, exactly.
Politely.
Then he gets revenge for the napalm by changing the orbit of the moon and moving it so it's big and behind him. It's about 30% closer to the Earth. So he messed up the whole ocean just to get revenge. He just reached up and he was like, "This will look cool."
He pulled a Gru from Despicable Me.
Exactly. Brie Larson has the camera on the two monsters fighting for a good 30 seconds to a minute, and still she goes, I didn't have enough time to take a picture. I can't prove monsters exist because I didn't have time to take a picture.
Oh dear. Oh dear. It says... was that your full notes, or have you got some more? I feel like you've got some more in there.
Some, but we'll leave it. My closing note, and I think I was saying while watching it, because I watched it with a friend, it's like the most wholesome thing, but it's also like the most Michael Bay dumb thing, and it's beer and hot dogs, the end kind of mid-credit scene.
Oh, John C. Reilly gets his beer and hot dogs.
John C. Reilly just kept talking about it for the whole movie, though.
His beer and his hot dog, and he got
it's
them.
Really dumb, but it's also wholesome.
It is.
Yeah.
And the way his son is like looking at him like, I don't know who you are. I thought that was quite cool.
Man?
Yeah. He's like, I'm your father. We have the same mustache.
It just felt like he gave a whole presentation of what you thought was wrong with Kong Skull Island.
And then that end credit scene as well, to set up King of the Monsters.
Oh, we don't.
Yeah, with the cave
'Cause everything
paintings.
needs to be in a universe.
It does. Why?
Let's move on to. Wait, did you just say it sets up Kong Skull Island?
No, it sets
you
up
didn't.
King of the
I
Monsters.
heard you wrong. Yeah.
Set it back.
Yeah, let's talk about
Hang on.
boring of the monsters.
Yeah.
Thoroughly
Let's talk about
enjoyed.
funky, fat, pregnant women fight over food in a Walmart.
That was my King of the Monsters.
They got the mocap from for Godzilla.
King of the Monsters was one of my favourite films of. It was last year it came out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was my favourite. One of my favourite films of last year. I thoroughly enjoyed that film. Watched that in.
Let me check the copyright on the special slipcased DVD copy. 2019.
2019.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, I know it came out last year. I
Yep.
saw it in cinema.
Came out May time, I think. I believe it was beginning.
Yeah,
of
it
the year,
was
wasn't
end
it?
of May.
End of May. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost a year.
Why was the line from the trailer not in the film?
Which
It's
one?
ridiculous. When someone goes, "Oh my god," and someone else goes,
Zilla.
No,
No,
that
it was in the
wasn't the
film.
film.
It's not in the film.
Yeah, well,
It is in
Yeah,
the
it
film.
was-
It's not
it
in
wa-
the film.
No, it
It's
is
not
in the film.
I will fight you.
It's
No,
in
I'm
the
serious.
film. He says it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I watched it.
He says it about halfway through the film, I believe.
Yeah, because I watched it the other day, so it's fresh in my memory.
Yeah.
Godzilla gets killed by a nuke, and then he gets brought back to life by one.
No, he gets superpowered by a nuke. That's what happens. They detonate the nuke under the ocean to superpower
But
him.
why is he at the bottom of the ocean? Oh, because he got hit by a nuke and he was going to die from it.
No, that wasn't a nuke. That was a hydrogen bomb, which in the original Godzilla film is what they used to kill the original Godzilla. It's a throwback to
Yeah,
the
when he
original.
turns into a skeleton. That was
Yeah. So it's
a
just a hydrogen bomb. So it's not as big as a hydrogen. I can't remember what it's fully called, like a hydrogen device. But so
Yeah,
he's basically completely almost dead. So he goes to Atlantis, which is his home, and then Dr. Surazawa.
Ken Watanabe.
Yep, Hondo Surazawa, which is a reference to. Can anyone guess?
the car.
Hondo is the director of the original film. Surazawa is the doctor that creates the hydrogen explosive in the original Godzilla film. That's where it comes from. So he does that emotional scene where he blows up the nuke to superpower
Was it
Godzilla.
emotional?
Yeah, I
Well,
thought it was.
Technically,
quite
it was the-
hilarious.
It was the US military that attacked Godzilla in King of the Monsters and like nearly killed him.
Yeah, that's why it's the whole scene, because he's mutually. That's why it's the goodbye old friend scene, because he's mutually acknowledging.
My old friend.
Yeah, and then that superpowers him, brings him back to a powerful strength.
And then he still loses. He still
Indeed.
loses. He gets superpowered and he still loses.
But he doesn't get fully superpowered. He just gets recharged.
Oh,
He doesn't get thermonuclear until Mothra dies. He only gets recharged. It's like
Yeah, because Mothra gave him the power he needed.
yeah,
He's like-
yeah, all right. In the last 10 minutes, he gets a menstrual cramp and shoots red lightning at everyone.
becomes Burning Godzilla, which is a thermonuclear one, which is a badass scene. That's a good scene. Cool
It's
scene.
boring.
It would have
It's
been
so
it
clunky.
would have been better if the red lightning got shot out of his ass.
You can never complain about a Godzilla film being clunky ever, because
This is so clunky.
if you
It's
compare it
so
to the original of
clumsy.
the people in the suits going,
Yeah, that has charm.
yeah,
At least they can actually move fast. Every
to be-
there's like a fight is just like 4 punches.
yeah,
and a bunch
because
of stepping.
by physics and things like that, that's how it would be. They're
But by
huge,
physics, there wouldn't be an enormous lizard.
they're giant, huge
shoots
creatures. They
thermonuclear
need
energy.
they need mass. They need mass to fight. So when they step, it's like in Pacific Rim how they move. They're so heavy they have to move slowly. You can't have a fast-moving giant creature because it wouldn't work. That's why he moves so slowly, is because he's so heavy. And throwing a punch is much slower when you're big. It's science. So that's why they're so slow and so clunky, is because they can't be fast-paced. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't. Even in the original Godzilla films, they're still slower. They're fast because it's actors doing it, but they still move at a brisk pace in order to keep it
I know
balanced.
why it is. I'm just saying it's boring as hell.
I think it's badass. I think it's good. It was a great kaiju film. It's exactly what you expect from a Godzilla film.
Yeah, which is what made it boring.
I have no opinion on that.
To be fair, you just watch a film like that to just see Godzilla smash monsters.
Yeah,
Exactly, yeah. And then whenever he does, he loses and it's clunky and it doesn't last very long. Every single time there's a monster fight, it just cuts back to Millie Bobby Brown and she's in a car or something trying to get away from it.
Because
so they don't have to
you
show them
can't
fighting.
have a full kaiju film. That's the problem. If they made it fully kaiju fighting, it would flop because it already flopped critically
Well, it
and things like
already did.
that. Yeah, but it would flop even more. But if you had it fully human, it would
I just
flop.
don't think that's true. If you're saying that the
Isn't
appeal
that what
of these
everyone was
films is to
complaining
see
about,
monsters
though?
punch monsters,
Pardon?
then you're saying they can't just do monsters punching monsters.
It would flop. It wouldn't get because
But
critically it
you're
wouldn't get a
saying that
review. But
the
the
appeal of the film was to see it so that you could see a giant monster punch a giant monster. If you're going into that film to see that and they don't have that, or they have less of that,
yeah, but they
why
still
is that better
they
than
still
if it was?
had enough because when you look at the reviews, critics dislike it, fans love it because it's exactly what they want. Critics hate it because it's it's just giant monsters fighting. There's a genuine.
It had no plot.
but
It had
it's not
no
even-
plot.
It's got the most. Yeah, it doesn't. It's got the most generic, boring, stock, copy paste plot.
So
Yeah,
does
people
every
can go
other
to-
one. So does
Yeah.
every.
People go to
Exactly,
it to
that's
see
what makes it
the-
boring. So does
the
every
plot.
other one.
Yeah, but
You've
they're
seen the same
enjoyable.
thing about 60 odd times now. Come
Yeah,
on.
but in a new CGI style, with an American version of it. It's
To
exactly
be fair,
what you
Pacific
want.
Rim Uprising was the same.
It's exactly
Pacific Rim
what you want.
Uprising was also terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. But Pacific Rim as a
Sorry,
whole,
there's a
What's
car
that
over there.
beeping? Oh, Carl.
as
DPD.
a whole franchise, Pacific Rim could be
I
better.
was gonna say, did Travis join for some reason?
Yeah.
Did you just say Pacific Rim there, Sam?
Yeah, it could be better. It's
I've seen that. Let's segue.
let's segue, yeah.
I've seen Pacific Rim
Boring of
Uprising. I have.
monsters.
So we've all
I
seen
really
Uprising.
enjoyed it. That's all I'm going
Did
to say.
you?
I enjoyed
I
it.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed
I enjoyed it
I
more than
thought
the
it was-
first one. I'm
I
not
enjoyed
saying
it because it was just something different that I
I'm
had
not saying
watched.
it's a good film. I just enjoyed it. It's an enjoyable film.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's an enjoyable film.
I watched it for big shit punching big shit, and it's terrible when it does that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't mind it. I mean,
Yeah.
Boring
I got.
and rubbish, and they're fighting another giant robot. And it's just boring.
That seems cool. The Obsidian in the Antarctic, the Obsidian Fury versus Gypsy
Yeah, it
Avengers.
looks cool, and
Yeah.
then nothing happens.
Yeah, they find out that lot happens in that fight. They're like, oh, they're being
They read the
controlled.
computer monitor.
I think we can all agree the best part was Charlie Day
Was
having
Charlie
sex
Day.
with an alien.
Yeah. I was really bored until Charlie Day showed up. Every one of his scenes is great. Everything else
Yeah.
is just boring.
John Boyega's good in it. He's funny. He's
Not
John
really.
Boyega.
He's
Yeah,
alright.
he's John Boyega.
He's funny.
Yeah, but like half the time he's trying to be like the comedic guy, and then the other half he's trying to be the big serious guy.
He's trying to be the Obi-Wan.
I mean, Idris Elba was good in it.
Yeah, in the first one.
Nah, and the second one has
He's
images.
in it for about 4 seconds.
As
My
images.
father clothed the breach.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a bit
that's
dumb
when
when
you
they
realise there was a first one.
Oh,
Kill
there
off.
was a line in Kong, which was one of my notes actually. There was a line where they said about the monsters came through a breach.
Ooh.
And I thought maybe that was what connects it to Pacific Rim.
Really?
Yeah. There was a line that said like the monsters came through a breach.
Oh,
Like literally exactly that word.
well, that's been completely retconned then by King of the Monsters.
Let me see.
Because
Oh,
Yeah, because
King of the Monsters discussed that they were on before. They're the Earth's antibodies. The reason why is they keep attacking is because the Earth is overpopulated and global warming and stuff like that. So they're just like time to curb some population. That's where they come from.
please.
Yeah. They're all aside from Godzilla, they're all originally kaiju. I think Godzilla was an oversized lizard that then became a kaiju, but Mothra was there originally.
Oversized moth that became
Kong's family, the giant monkey men, they were there originally. Obviously, Ghidorah's from Planet X. It's a alien Ghidorah. Rodan was there originally. All of those. Behemoth. Alice
So in
or something.
Godzilla versus Kong, Kong just going to punch him for a bit and then he's going to go red and shoot him and that'll be it.
Nope. What's going to happen, because they've released a load of more teasers, is Godzilla, Kong, they're going to fight, and then Mecha Godzilla is going to appear, and they're going to fight Mecha Godzilla. That's what's going to happen. Which is a twist to what it's not. It's not a rehash of the original film, because the original film is just Godzilla and Kong fighting and no one actually winning. And then...
But this time there will be a winner.
No, there won't be a winner.
No, they have said
They'll
there will
team
definitely be a winner.
Yeah.
Kong will beat down Godzilla because all Godzilla does is walk and shoot lasers.
Kong will not defeat Godzilla. There's
Kong
no
will
way.
win.
All Kong has to do is
Kong
grab
can
something
actually
sharp
fight.
enough and jump on the back of Godzilla.
Kong
Then
could kill him with
Godzilla's
a
fucked. He's just like...
Godzilla could literally set him on fire and kill
that's
him with
all
radiation.
Godzilla does. So all he has to do is move out of the way of his little beam.
And he has
And
tail
once he
spikes.
finishes shooting his beam, he'll be exhausted and he'll stop down.
No, or he could just... It wants him to go thermonuclear and melt him.
Yeah, exactly. That's all he does. He just gets hit for a bit, and then he goes thermonuclear. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I've got a Uno reverse card."
Yeah, Godzilla will beat Kong.
It's just
They showed with the official toys, Godzilla has more damage because the new toys you can get battle damage, and Godzilla literally has like a massive
it's 'cause
chunk
Godzilla's
missing,
gonna lose.
and then Kong has like part of his arm missing.
Yeah.
Oh no, Siri, that's
Just a moment. Okay, I find this in the book for the show with the official toys guide.
So this is
Toys you can get chunk missing.
this is what it recorded. They show with the official toys, Godzilla has more damage because the new toys you can get a chunk missing. That's what it recorded. Thank you, Siri.
Well,
Much appreciated.
Kong's gonna win because he's more interesting.
No,
He's way more interesting.
Godzilla's cooler. Plus,
Godzilla's
the
Kong is-
stronger.
Godzilla's cooler,
Godzilla's
but
Kong-
There's more to him.
Big Monkey Man, who was
Yeah,
originally a kaiju.
Yeah.
Godzilla.
And what's Godzilla? A big lizard.
Yeah, but he's a
Oh!
Godzilla. No. Kong was already
Godzilla's
Kong
gonna
was already a kaiju. Godzilla wasn't a kaiju
Godzilla's a
and became
radioactive
a
lizard.
yeah. They could shoot atomic breath and go thermonuclear and is banging a moth. That's
But you just...
No,
God,
we're
come on.
talking about Pacific Rim.
Yeah, but where the fuck are you? Yeah, I mean...
Andrew's
Oh, let's
having
have a look.
difficulties.
what's oh, is it working?
The key point I got here is sex with an alien.
Oh, off Pacific
the
Rim.
brain. Yeah, the
Um,
VR.
Bracer Phoenix is a great designed mech, the green one, the big green one. It's one of my favourite design mechs.
yeah.
Barricade.
What?
Scrap
I didn't
was a
even mean
good design.
barricade. I meant
Oh
sit
yeah,
down.
Scrapper.
Scrapper.
That was a cool design. I like that. That was a cool little.
You know what that
Did you
reminded me
like
of? As soon as
Scrapper?
it rolled up. As soon as it rolled up, I
Cannonball.
was like, Cannonball, Ben 10.
Five.
Cannonball from Ben 10. That's exactly what I thought as well.
I've got that on my notes right here.
Or Samus as well from Metroid because it's the colours as well.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got
Reminded me of Wheelie from Transformers 5.
but no, it's got some good mech designs. Pacific Rim, I'll give it's got good mech designs when they're not being
Just
blown
doesn't
up
do
in the
anything
first
with
one.
them.
Yeah. Like
Mm.
at least in the second one that they're not all completely destroyed. Like they're like, hey, the mech's still salvageable, not completely obliterated like in the first one. Like all of the other ones are.
Oh, and all the comedy in Pacific Rim Uprising was so stale.
Yeah.
it was just stale as hell.
I mean, it is in the first one as well. It's not really.
I haven't watched the first one,
really.
but yeah, but every time they try to do comedy, it was just so stale.
Yeah. I don't know how.
Part of the formula.
It's.
I think they were probably just trying to bank off the fact they had like a big comedic actor like in one of the main roles and just trying to go from there.
Yeah. Or it's just trying to pander towards China, seeing as Pacific Rim's biggest market is China. That's why they pander towards China so much. And Japan. That's literally... Like, it's an American movie made for Asia. Like, it's not made for America, it's made for Asia with, hey, here's some American actors that may get the Americans to watch it.
These days.
Yeah. But, like, it's... I have the first one on DVD. I intended to get the second one. The steelbook's quite nice, and it's not too badly priced for the second one. I rewatched it on Netflix.
The second one on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's...
I do have the second one on Blu-ray.
It's an easy watch. I watched it last time I watched... Yeah, it's a really...
Is it?
Easy, you could because it's a movie you can easily zone out at. I watched it.
I don't think it is because it's constantly trying to suck you into terrible melodrama with the little girl.
No, that because you forget about that because they're like, oh, that character's annoying.
Because they do it every 5 minutes.
This is why it's an easy watch. I got back, went out drinking when I last watched it. Came back, rather few drinks in. Stuck it on because it was on Netflix. You literally just sit back and watch it because you're like, hey, big robot fight.
I didn't even check if it was on Netflix when I was going to watching it, so I watched it on 1, 2, 3 minutes.
2 minutes of big robot fight, and then 20 minutes of my parents died.
From both of the main two.
Nathan explaining the plot of Evangelion, the entire series.
How dare you? It's much better.
But it's still 2 minutes of robot fights, 20 minutes of my parents died.
So,
you can't deny that.
It's not an annoying American girl who's like, I'm an inventor like Mark Wahlberg in Age of Extinction.
It's an annoying German girl.
Whoops.
And what about the Russian? Victoria.
We don't have consonants anymore, it's Pangea.
It's Pangea. Is that bloody Last Night? Is that a Last Night reference?
It's a real thing, but yeah, it was a Last Night reference, yeah. Yeah, because this film just made me want to watch Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah. I'll take Revenge of the Fallen over both Pacific Rims.
Yeah, that's a film you can easily watch.
I would not.
Here's my biggest issue with Pacific Rim.
What?
My biggest
It's
issue
boring.
with the entire thing is the main theme has so much potential and it's shit. The problem with the main theme that other things like the Godzilla theme is and other things like that is that the main theme builds up and builds up and builds up, and the whole point of big kaiju things, even with Evangelion, is there's meant to be a drop, and it's the big... Because Evangelion theme, that slowly builds up, and then it gets all jazzy. Godzilla, it builds up, and then... But with Pacific Rim, it builds up, and then it levels out. It doesn't drop, it levels out. The only way to properly enjoy the Pacific Rim theme is to have it bass boosted after where the drop hits, because then the drop hits. That's...
Play some Skrillex at the same time.
But no, that's one of my biggest issues, is that the theme is lacking.
Andrew is about to say why Pacific Rim is better than Transformers, so we can correct him.
Why?
Well, I wasn't saying that. It's just like Revenge of the Fallen was just like they're kind of like on level. It just really depends what you're more a fan of.
It's just enjoyable.
I mean,
Revenge of the Fallen
let me
is
just
so
say this.
enjoyable.
Let me just say this. I'm not a fan of either of them. I enjoy both of them, but I know more about Transformers, so that's more interesting.
I already have a bias towards Revenge of the Fallen, but even then, it's an easy watch. I've watched that film back to back 3 times.
All 5 of them right, except the 5th one.
And the 4th one.
No, I like the 4th one. 4th one's the best one. It's the most fun.
I have to agree with that.
3's the best one.
3 is the best one.
Yeah. Yes, someone said to me, "Oh, I want to put on Transformers films." I said, "Okay." So I just went, "I'll put on the one that causes me the least pain."
4. Yeah, it's the most fun.
I mean, to be
Cool.
honest,
Yeah.
2 is the one that
Four.
I could rewatch like constantly because there's less human bullshit. It's like human bullshit for maybe 10 minutes of the film, and then all of it
Yeah,
is
but
just
what about
one
the
long
Romeo
plot
and
point.
Juliet war?
The third one, my issue with it is that there's a lot of setup. It's about an hour's worth of humans and then an hour's worth of robot fights, like Chicago onwards. Number 1 is like an hour's worth of humans, half an hour's worth of robots, things like that. That's
You
Yeah,
forget
3's the
that
best.
you forget Age of Extinction has a soundtrack by the Imagine Dragons.
only yeah. Battlecry, when it first came out, could not get into it because I was so
But what
used to
about
Linkin
the other
Park.
song? There's the other song that's just in the soundtrack where they go.
That's Battlecry.
That's Battlecry.
Yeah, no, but there's a different version of it in the.
There's 2 of them. There's the deluxe and then
Oh,
No, there's not. There's a version in the actual soundtrack rather than a song they made.
I think no, it's the same
It's
as the
like-
deluxe. It's like
it's
Irritant
like-
from Transformers 3
Yeah, exactly,
had 2 different
exactly.
versions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh fuck!
Which, I'm going to be honest, for the entire time after watching Transformers 3, I thought Irritant, the bit where they're in the car and it plays the sad bit at the beginning, was Avril Lavigne.
You thought it was Avril Lavigne?
I thought it
I could
was-
understand thinking it was like Black Parade.
No, but I thought... I have no idea. I thought it was Complicated. The beginning of Complicated.
That sounds completely different.
I know, but I couldn't put a name to that song, and I always thought it was Avril Lavigne. Don't know why.
Even when the man comes in.
Even... yeah, because I didn't remember it, even though I watched that film quite a bit. But now, obviously, now I know it. But I could not put a name to it. I was like, oh, it's Avril Lavigne. I heard Avril Lavigne. I was like, oh, this is the one in Transformers. No, it's not. But yeah, as a film, 3's the best one. As one for enjoyment, 2's the most enjoyable.
4.
4 is the most fun.
Nope.
I watched all 5 last week.
4
and
is,
they were all quite taxing except 4, which I just blazed through.
as a Transformers film, 4's the worst one.
Yeah, but I don't care about Transformers.
Hands
No,
down.
5 is the worst one.
No,
5 is the
no,
worst one.
as
in
a
terms of being
Transformers-
5 is
Transformers
by far the worst one. 5 is atrocious. It's not even made well.
Neither's 4.
4 is alright.
Yeah, but you can-
Michael Bay still cared in 4. You can see the slow descent of care, but 5 he didn't care at all.
The thing with 4 is that it tried to be a reboot, and trying
Yeah,
to be a reboot ruined the film because it changed the whole premise
Didn't
of
for me.
it. It opened really well, really strong with the Optimus in the this one.
It was like semi-reboot.
Where he turns into the the original truck, the original cab truck. He's damaged. They're on the run. That premise is really cool. Did they stick
And
with it?
Lockdown.
No, they didn't stick with it.
God.
If they had him kept like that and Lockdown hunting it, yeah, that would have been cool because Lockdown's a cool character. But they didn't. They didn't
Well,
stick
Lockdown
with
did
it.
keep
Yeah,
hunting
five
them,
is
and he
still
caught
the
them.
one.
Yeah, but it
And
wasn't.
then he flew off into space.
It
and they
wasn't
escaped as he did
the.
it. It's like a Clone Wars
It
episode.
didn't stay as the cool design, the rustic run down design. It was like, hey, here's a really complete redesign of the character. Look, shit.
Yeah. Well, oh God, you're such a woman.
Prime's design changes from the best design he's ever had to the worst design he's ever had in the
I
live
think
action
it's
films.
The best robot design.
No, when he's
It's the
turns.
best modern robot design.
No,
It is, though.
no, the one at the
Bumblebee.
the one at the beginning of the film where he is the original.
Yeah, but he's not
That's
a
the best
robot
one.
at that point.
Here he is. He comes out and he's got all the damaged version of. It's a downgraded version of his
Yeah, and it's just the
original
same
form.
design, but it's like got dust on it.
Yeah, but like, it looks cool. It's changed slightly with the proportions, how they do the cabs and all of that. It's still changed. It looks better. And then it changed
What you
to.
should be moaning about is Galvatron.
We don't talk
Oh.
about any of those. at all.
To be fair, I did like the way he transformed.
No,
I thought
I
it
hated
was
that.
cool.
It was
but
dumb.
No,
That's terrible.
no. The whole point about Transformers is that the transformations are just. They're not like, you know what, we're going to be nanoids.
Yeah,
Ooh.
like, yes, there is a
You
lot
want to
of
see them transform.
there's a lot of mass shifting involved when they transform, like scaling wise, but that completely
Turning
takes it
into
out.
cubes is stupid.
Yeah, the whole point
Terrible.
is when you look at the robot and you look at the car, the parts most of the time should all be there. They should all condense into it. Yes, there's a lot of issues with that, but still, as a premise, when you look at the truck and you look at the robot, you can see that truck turns into the robot, vice versa. You can't when they
And
turn
the
into
better it
cubes.
transforms, the more likely they are to sell a toy that.
Yep, and making the Prime design, you can't see that's a truck. You look at that design, you're like, that's not a truck. Either the figures don't work. It's one of the worst figures they made in the live action films, is because it's all clunky, bulky, shit, back, crap. It's terrible. It's not good. The
Galvatron figure doesn't even turn into cubes. Like,
you have to smash it up for that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, Transformium was the laziest name for it they could have possibly come up with.
Yeah, it's a bit shit.
the pill.
And then Rainbow
need
Dash it turns into, or a handgun.
That's later on.
Is it?
That's the different scene.
Oh.
There's one scene where Stanley Tucci makes it a gun and the pill.
The Beats pill.
And then there's a different scene where the guy from Sorry I've Got No Head turns it from like a M16 to My Little Pony. Or something.
Oh yeah, Rainbow Dash. The blue one. I mean, what? No, I don't know. But no, it's.
We're talking about Pacific Rim Uprising.
We were, but we segued into a more interesting topic.
Oh,
Ooh.
Well,
I didn't know we were talking about
debating the
Detective
quality of the
Pikachu.
Transformer
I mean,
films.
I'll admit, the new Pacific Rim film, the Netflix adaptation, the 3D animated one they're doing, does sound promising. From how it's evolved their 3D animation, it could be really good. It could be really good.
Just War for Cybertron.
Yeah, that looks good.
And
I'm hyped
King
for that.
Shark.
Animes set after the films.
The what? Yeah, I think it's set after the second one, so it's going to be them continuing going into the breach. Or something like that. That
Without John Boyega.
is going to be pretty interesting. No, I think John Boyega will be in it. He's got nothing else to do now after Star Wars.
Sure.
Yeah. So, like, unless you're Harrison Ford, when the Star Wars franchise ends, you get immediately bumped down to doing lower budget things.
Yeah.
Did
To
anyone
be
watch
fair-
this?
No, I saw it and I was like, no.
I haven't seen that. What is that?
It's
Netflix kids show based on Kong.
King of the Apes.
Mm.
And I take it
King
no
of the
one's
Apes
seen
versus King of the Monsters.
Planet Godzilla either.
I have
No,
not
I
watched
nearly-
those anime films. no.
You said at one point it was the same guy who did Evangelion, and you were wrong.
No, I said Shin Godzilla was the same guy that did Evangelion. Now that's worth a watch. Shin Godzilla is incredible. It's the best kaiju film ever made, and it's by Hideaki Anno, who made.
I think they were on my list, but Nathan made me take them off.
What?
Planet Godzilla.
The
No,
yeah,
they aren't
the
good.
3D.
Godzilla and
They're crap. They're terrible. They are
You're welcome.
awful. It has, I'll admit, the third one has a really cool scene with Ghidorah when Ghidorah first appears and like time and space and shit. It's the only
Yeah,
redeeming
but
thing.
Sam, what do you know? You said Death Note was bad. And you
I
said
did.
the live action was great, so...
yeah,
But,
Nathan's got a point there.
Does he?
Nathan's got a point there.
I think Nathan's being sarcastic.
Well, to be fair, he also thinks Iron Man 3 is good.
Iron Man 3 is good.
Iron Man 3 is one of the best
Iron Man
MCU
3 is good.
films. It's one of the best. Don't
It
lie.
is.
It's one of the best.
You're like, oh, they didn't do the Mandalorian Mandalorian. Jeez, the
Ben
Mandarin.
Kingsley was the
Mandarin.
best part.
Didn't
Yeah,
do
Ben
the Mandarin
Kingsley
justice.
as the
Did you read the
Mandarin
comments?
was the
Trevor,
best.
Trevor Slattery.
Did you read about the Green Man with giant pointy ears? No, you didn't. You're just lying.
Trevor Slattery.
Yeah, exactly. And do you know what? I was thinking about
No,
a scene from that yesterday
my
where he
memory is
says,
shit.
"Tell me, or he'll stop doing it," and he burns his ear with the gun. And I was like, "That's great."
Yeah.
So you're a child.
No, Iron Man 3 is good. I enjoyed that. I need to rewatch 2 and 3. I've only seen both of them once. I enjoyed both of them.
I've
Yeah,
seen
rewatch 3. I mean, 2
one.
is okay.
Yeah, two is
I
alright.
prefer 2 to 3.
Yeah, but you're an idiot.
No, I'm not.
I prefer 2 because of War Machine's
Yeah.
design is War Machine, not
Yeah.
Iron
Yeah,
Patriot.
but they
but
make
it's alright.
they do Iron Patriot as a joke.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah, it's got War Machine, and that's enough for me. War Machine's.
Because Iron Patriot to me is Norman Osborn, like he should be.
Is
But,
it?
Yeah, in the comics, Norman Osborn is Iron Patriot.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think no one else
Did not
plays
know
Iron
that.
Patriot.
He's the leader of the Dark Avengers in the comics.
I did not know that at all.
I think at one point he's also head of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that's when he's the Iron Patriot. My head hurts.
Oh Christ! I think we've definitely moved into the last segment of this. What did we call it?
Way before just
Stuff.
random.
Stuff. Yeah,
What
we moved
stuff?
into stuff. I think partway
And
through
we,
Pacific
and we
Rim.
didn't even talk about Detective Pikachu.
Oh, we can talk about that and stuff.
yeah, you three talk about Detective Pikachu. I didn't see it.
Yeah,
because
so this
is-
I didn't.
it was-
like
it was-
and I didn't want to upset Andrew.
We'll say this is the final
all
segment
right.
then, which we're doing. We're doing it for the next consecutive, what would be 4 weeks,
Episode.
where we do the last segment
Yeah.
is one of our favourite films. This week
Yeah.
being Andrew's favourite film,
Yeah, Detective Pikachu, my
Detective
favourite film.
Pikachu, which
I
is
just want
a
to say
really
something
good film.
before you start. It's predictable.
Yeah.
Extremely predictable.
No.
Wait, let
Yes,
Andrew,
that-
I knew right from
Andrew
the
give
beginning
a-
that was his father.
I
I've not
didn't.
heard any spoilers, but that was his father.
Right,
let
Andrew, take
give
the
a
lead.
rundown of why it's his favourite.
Okay. Basically, for me, everything before they revealed the first trailer, I was immensely skeptical about because doing a live action anime / video game adaptation with Ryan Reynolds voicing the lead of Pikachu, I just thought, okay, this is probably not going to work. Saw the
Yeah.
trailer, blew my mind. But just like I loved the film even more because it was just like growing up as a Pokemon fan. It was pretty much everything you could love from as being like growing up as a Pokemon fan. It was just everything you could want.
Condense into it as well. The premise of the film, the whole buddy cop type, that premise is a premise that they made a lot when we were younger. I remember it was a trope, it was a thing they made on I would be CITV programs and stuff like that. And that's like a nostalgic trope, like stuff like the film Sherlock Bones, if anyone's ever seen that, with the Sherlock Holmes dog. It's basically the same premise, but it's a nostalgic premise they only made during the mid 2000s, and that as well was a good selling point I found when I watched the film. I thoroughly enjoyed it as well. It's a great film,
Oh no, I enjoyed it,
Pikachu
but
didn't get the VFX.
and the twist as well. I didn't see coming when that happened. I was
as soon as you see the first flashback to him on the train waiting, saying that he doesn't want to go see his dad, I was like, oh, Ryan Reynolds is his dad.
nope.
Pikachu is stuck in the body.
From the whole point, from the twist with
Ryan
Bill
Reynolds.
Nye, and
Yeah,
the twist
Nathan,
with
yeah,
all of
Ryan
that,
Reynolds voicing Pikachu is his dad.
I
Yeah,
had no
predictable.
idea. I was like,
No,
oh.
I didn't know either.
And Bill Nye being the bad guy because he wants to
To be
walk.
fair, I
was
was
like, oh.
surprised by the twist as well.
Yeah, it was.
I definitely would have seen it at this point if it was Danny DeVito instead of Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
And I think that's so much better casting. I think that's 1,000,000 times better.
I mean, you could get Danny DeVito doing the motion capture as well, the right
To be
size
honest,
and everything.
yeah, I think it would.
It fits
Add to
better
the
'cause
film.
Pikachu is short and fat.
It would still be
I
like
honestly
it
could not have.
Detective
I'm gonna say-
Pikachu still would have been the baseline.
All Ryan Reynolds does is the same guy in every film.
Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna
works,
say-
but-
Does that again?
They were smart making the kid younger when he left his dad, because otherwise you wouldn't recognise your dad's voice in Pikachu.
Mm.
So, luckily they left a long enough gap for him to phase out and forget what his dad sounded like.
Yeah,
I
like
mean, Dupenda was pretty
Did you
good.
say Kevin Smith?
No?
Oh, I thought I heard you say Kevin Smith. I was like,
Kevin Smith as Pikachu.
To be fair,
Oh,
when they first announced Ryan Reynolds, I was skeptical, but then like saw the trailer, watched the movie, I was just like, this actually works. It was funny, it actually worked. So
it's the perfect example that video game movies work. Like they can work. They can work really well. And I haven't seen the new Sonic, but I have only heard good things.
I've seen the new Sonic.
I've seen Sonic.
I have heard good things from it.
It was amazing. It was amazing, honestly.
It's alright. Not amazing, it's alright.
Like this new wave of video game films adaptations is it's exactly what people wanted. It's like I think since Ready Player One has really picked up.
To be fair with Sonic, I did feel the plot was a little predictable with that, but otherwise I really loved the film.
I honestly can never view something that is literally a video game film, which to be honest is directed at a franchise a younger audience. It's saying, oh yeah, it's predictable. It's very weak. It's, to be honest, it's the same as saying every Pokemon episode is predictable. So every Sonic game is predictable. That's what I mean. So the movie's going to be predictable, and so is the game.
Plus Jim Carrey.
I mean,
wouldn't it be a better movie if it was less predictable and did something that surprised you?
It's still Detective Pikachu does something that surprises you. It's
they put some dad plot in my ear,
and the twist plot as well with the villain, everything. They twist the Mewtwo plot, which is good.
Mewtwo being the good guy,
and plus it ties into the anime as well.
Does it?
Yeah, because they reference the first movie.
They do, yeah. When they talk about Mewtwo, don't they?
Because they went, oh yeah, all that stuff with Mewtwo from the first movie happened 20 years ago, like in the film canon, and it happened like 20 years ago in real life.
Does that mean the new Mewtwo film is also canon, the one on Netflix, the 3D animated one? Because that takes place after that.
That's just a remake.
No,
that's just a remake.
No, it's Return of Mewtwo, isn't it?
Yeah, it is called the Return.
So that means that it's an evolution of man. You go from the 2D animated to 3D animated to live action. You have an evolution of man of the Mewtwo movies, which is quite funny.
I wasn't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of that CGI movie of Mewtwo.
I haven't watched it, but I'm only watching it for a CGI version of this. It's the only reason I'm watching it.
I watched it. It just felt like, it was just basically the game graphics, but it didn't bring the same emotion that the original film brought.
Yeah, that's understandable. It's
Oh, by the way, I did enjoy Detective Pikachu. I just thought it was predictable.
The tough thing to do is bring emotion into 3D animation, which is surprising, but it's actually quite hard to put emotion into 3D animation. 2D, yes, because you have the whole over-exaggeration. 3D, you have that halved. You can over-exaggerate.
When Ash died, you just don't feel the same.
No, it's because of that.
I like Ash.
It's
I just don't like Pokemon.
How you make it, how 3D design is done is Clone Wars does it really well with showing emotion in 3D animation because of how it's done, the style and things like that. But it is actually a surprisingly hard thing to do, watching 3D animated.
I was just going to say, I watched TMNT 2007 yesterday.
Oh my god, that is a beautiful film.
I love that
Chris
film.
Evans playing Casey Jones.
I haven't seen it.
Wait, Chris Evans plays Casey Jones?
Yes.
Michelle Gellar is Neil.
What?
I have not seen
Chris
that
Evans,
animated
Casey
film,
Jones,
no.
bloody
Nolan
amazing.
North is Raphael.
Oh.
Yep.
Someone else is Leonardo.
Do I have that film behind me?
I've only seen the latest two.
Yeah, I saw it's on Netflix.
Live action films.
Oh,
I think it's better than the live action films, but as I said in my review, I was like, it's probably just because of nostalgia, because I used to watch it all the time.
Yeah, I remember that film was like with the '97 Godzilla film. Every time that film came on
and Patrick
TV,
Stewart was Winters.
Patrick Stewart was the villain.
But yeah, every time that film came on TV, I'd watch it literally every time without fail. I got it on DVD somewhere.
I had it, yeah.
It's in my drawer. I have it with.
I've got it.
Ty's got it in his back pocket.
It's like a pocket Bible. He carries around a pocket.
Exactly.
Mate, it's got to be one of my.
What are you bringing into war, my pocket TMNT?
but it's just great.
It is. It's a good film. That was a very
I've
for the
only
time as
seen-
well. It was 3D animation was good. It was a good 3D.
It
I've
Yeah,
still
only
it
seen
still
makes
holds up.
films.
It
It
does.
still holds up today, which is good.
Yeah. It 3D animation for the TMNT worked, shown by that film and TMNT 2012. The 3D CGI works really well for TMNT.
I mean, even
Michelangelo looks pretty bad in the new ones. I don't like the Michelangelo design
What, in
it doesn't
2012?
look like a goofball.
in the new two.
Yeah, the Michael Bay ones.
Oh,
the Michael Bay
no.
ones.
He's
No.
talking about something else.
I've only seen those two ones.
You know, I'm on about the
Yeah,
series.
yeah.
I thought you might have been. I don't like
Yeah.
the series at all.
Really? The
Oh, the new-
2012?
The new- Oh, okay. No, the best series was the
2008,
2003.
2010.
Back to
Yeah,
the sewers, or flash forward? Back to the sewers.
No, it's a cartoon one.
Flash forward, like that is the series that I'm on about. It the ones before and after,
Wait,
like that whole sequence.
Back
of
to the
movies.
sewers was the one with
mate.
Cyber Shredder, wasn't it?
EMNT 2003 is the one.
The
That I like.
2007 one was supposed to be a trilogy. That's sad.
What 2000?
What the movie?
Yeah, the movie.
Oh, really?
It's supposed to be a trilogy.
Oh,
Which is why it ends with a nod to Shredder coming back.
Oh, that would have been fucking amazing.
But because it flopped a bit, and because they had difficulty, it was all animated in Japan, and they had trouble communicating. So they'd ask them to do things, and they do something else because of the language barrier. So yeah, just various little problems made this trilogy not happen.
oh.
But if Andrew wants to give some final words on Detective Pikachu, seeing as that's what we're supposed to tell you about.
Honestly, all I can say about it is I just love it. It's my favorite film. Everything I could want from a film based on my childhood.
But why? What makes it your favorite? Like nostalgia aspect.
I suppose a little bit.
Why are you
It was just it's more the fact I thought it was so good.
That's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
but why?
It was like it was just like the really good CGI, great plot, and some great twists, and as well as pretty good acting.
I think it's very difficult to explain why something's your favourite. Like, saying you really enjoyed it,
Plus
you can't really say why.
Plus Catherine Newton.
Like, there's a few in my favourites that I cannot explain why they're my favourite. I just enjoy them that much. Like, there's no way to explain it.
Yeah.
It's quite...
Yeah, kind of like John
Stop sharing the
Wick.
screen.
I am. Give me that.
There we go.
Excellent. Shall we move on?
Yep.
Okay. So stuff. Who wants to go first? Anyone want to recommend something from their week?
Clone Wars.
What's
I
that?
mean,
Season 7 finale. I watched that today.
oh, that was the finale.
That was the last ever Clone Wars episode.
Oh, that was just a bit of a boring. That was a boring episode.
Oh my god! You think you triggered him?
You what? You
No,
what?
I'm joking. I just didn't feel the emotion behind it. That's all I'm saying. I was like, yeah.
Sam cried twice.
I did.
I was waiting for the next episode.
To be fair,
Well, no,
the
no.
series
I'll admit, I
in-
teared up once and cried once.
Same
But
thing.
no.
I mean,
Same thing.
Crying is like it going.
Same thing.
I
Tearing
gotta
up is
admit,
just like
it had to be flowing.
the occasional series finale.
What have I watched on Netflix? What have I watched?
Or
wait,
they could just knock that.
Nathan. I raise you.
Damn it. I raise you. Hang on.
Oh shit!
Hang
I
on.
can't be bothered to fish around my
Nathan,
shelves.
I raise you. Nathan, I raise you. All of
Do
that.
you want me to show you my shelf again?
No,
I raise
I'm
you.
a mess right now.
Oh, you raise me.
I want
I
castle.
can go grab all 9 seasons.
Well, I can raise
Oh,
you
TV
with.
Oh god,
Man, this is
content madness. What's the most expensive
I
thing you've
raise
bought?
you with this.
Don't know
Okay,
what that
Sam
is.
wins.
It's rubbish.
It is
Oh,
Headmasters. It is the Japanese sequel that is the most
I was gonna say, what's the best
enjoyable
season
dub ever because the dub is so bad. It's so
I
bad,
saw.
it's good. It's... Yeah. Now, if you want an easy watch, that's an easy watch. Wait, what did you say?
I mean, to be honest, can we all just admire Nathan's bedroom and how amazingly designed it is? Just the way everything on his background is amazing. Like, God, mine's boring. Andrew's is a bit dull. He's got Angry Birds in the top left.
Mine is
Yeah,
only...
My
Shells
wall isn't
behind
that
me.
good because there's posters on my wall for films I don't like and haven't seen.
Would you rather? Would you rather I like have this from my videos?
I mean,
No.
we are talking about
Use this
films and
background.
TVs.
No, the other one's better. Like that.
Because the other one's just like all my books and comic books.
I mean,
I'm a Doctor
ideally,
Who.
mine would be that if it wasn't so exposed.
If I flip my desk, if I was to flip my desk around, I'd just be like, yeah, that would be my wall.
Oh,
See my own.
Oh, nice.
I'm not going to flip mine around because it's a mess, mine.
I mean, you got a nice stormtrooper helmet, so put it on.
I do, my Black Series. I
There's
also
not much
got
to flip around for mine.
my custom
Oh.
Hasbro one I'm making.
Why is Nathan laughing?
Just out off the rails. My stuff.
Hey, stuff.
My stuff. I watched Triple Frontier on Netflix, and I was surprised by it because I thought it was going to be terrible. Yes.
Is
yeah.
it good?
I thought it is really good.
I need to watch it.
Honestly, I thought, it's a Netflix film. You know, they've clearly cast a bunch of A-listers to try and get appeal, and I've been wanting to watch lots of tactical films lately, and it's actually really good. It surprised me.
I've seen a clip because my family watched it and I didn't watch it with them, and they didn't enjoy it. But from what I watched, I enjoyed it.
It's really good. They like steal a load of money from like a drug cartel. And
I've seen the
they
helicopter
have to trek
bit
it back across the country.
where the helicopter crashes. That bit.
That's great.
Well, they can't get over the mountain. That bit's quite good.
And the other thing I watched was Zelig, which has apparently been quite toxic to my Instagram because no one's liked it, whereas usually I get about 4.
Oh,
Woody Allen is a polarizing name these days.
oh dear.
And but basically, I mean, it's just the whole kind of point of it is that it's a guy who's like, he's so afraid of social situations that he literally changes parts of his body to fit in. So like he stands next to a black guy and he becomes a black guy. And like he stands next to an Orthodox Jew and grows a beard
That
and a hat.
sounds
And
quite
it's all
funny.
like a mockumentary, and it's like really well made. You could believe it was an actual documentary if not for the occasional bit that's a little bit too wacky. But it's just
What we do in the shadows.
I thought it applied quite well to the time, which I said in my review, because at the moment people with like social anxiety have been doing better because they haven't had to socialize as much. And this is kind of about a guy who has such high social anxiety that he'll change anything to fit in. And it's kind of opposite ends of the spectrum of this over exaggerated comedic world compared to what's actually happening right now.
That's fair. It's pretty cool.
As to whether I recommend it to you, I don't know. You'll probably find it boring, but I just thought it had good social merit at the
You
moment.
keep saying that about, and all the films I watch that you recommend are boring, I enjoy. Like Dead Don't Die. I was like, no, they're not
They
boring.
didn't die. But like I've heard people say that was boring. It's my favorite film of 2018.
I can see why people would think it's boring,
Paul
but I
doesn't
didn't
like
find it
that one.
boring.
Paul wasn't like that. One.
I don't find many films boring. Just like
I like boring films.
I won't stop.
Yeah, we know.
I have only stopped watching 2 films, like stopped partway through, like this is rubbish in my life, and that is Ghost in the Shell
Genesis.
and Robin Hood, the new Robin Hood. Those are the only 2 films I've stopped watching.
I angrily turned off Terminator Genesis.
I watched the
I
first
hate it.
Terminator for the first ever time the other day,
Yeah, now
And
you
I-
need to watch T2.
and I can see why people prefer T2.
It's good, but it's
Watch
low
T2, then you
budget,
can watch Dark.
yeah, it's very
Don't
low
watch
budget.
Dark Fate.
If the first Terminator didn't happen, then T2 probably would never happen either. So,
True.
but,
Wow, yeah,
I can
well
honestly
done.
say Dark Fate is very
It's just
good.
very
oh yeah, well,
strange
you got favorite effects to it.
watching it, and I was like, this came out after like Star Wars and all that, and I was like, interesting, like how they do the budget, things like that.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, the stop motion wasn't too bad for the Terminator, but
Is that your stuff?
yeah, that's
Terminator and Clone Wars.
Terminator
tiny
and Clone
stuff.
Wars.
Let me have a look.
YouTube or anything. I'll while you look, I'll fill in. I watched Oh Hello on Broadway on Netflix,
What is?
and it's John Mulaney and Nick Kroll both playing like 76-year-old men. It's really funny. It starts off kind of slow, and it's like not very funny at the start, and then from like a third in, it's great. It's really funny.
Oh, okay. It's quite good. Sounds interesting,
There's all
to
kind of
say the
like
least.
lots of like jokes that you can't really say these days because they're old men, you know.
Oh,
So,
that's
like
a
they
good
say
way of
about-
getting
they
away
say
with
that-
it.
They say they need a dog, and then they follow it up with "Let's go down to Chinatown," you know. And that's right near the start, and everyone goes "Ooh," and they just say "Strap in."
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and I guess I recommend Dead Don't Die because you brought it up,
Mm-hmm.
not because I've watched it in the week, but it's one of my favorite
I
films.
watched that last week. I think it was,
What's
wasn't
that?
it?
2 weeks ago, I think.
2
I don't
weeks,
know.
yeah. Yeah, that was a good film. I recommend it. Dan Driver, Bill Murray. Basically, all you need to know.
Danny Glover,
Oh yeah, Danny
I mean,
Glover.
Steve
I
Buscemi,
did.
And
I did watch.
Ziggy Pop,
No,
RZA.
what did you watch, Ty?
I did watch the Sherlock Holmes films again this week, and just because I've watched them now, this is my second time watching them, and they just are very interesting.
I need to
Like,
watch them again because
it-
the third one's coming out next year, is it?
Supposedly,
Well,
I imagine it's
supposedly
gonna get
next
moved
year.
back now.
Delayed
Hmm.
till 2022 probably.
They're
But
great. They're like some of the most fun films ever made.
yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoy those films. I've only
They-
seen
they
Game
are
of Shadows once, and that was in cinemas. I need to watch Game of Shadows.
Game of Shadows is
Game of Shadows is amazing.
Yeah, I've seen the first one a few times, but I need to rewatch Game of Shadows.
I mean, the
Seen
end
either
of
of
Game
them.
of Shadows.
What's Andrew
The
about to say
ending.
about them?
I haven't seen either of them.
All right,
Watch
you'd like
them.
them. You should watch them. They're on
I
Netflix.
think you like them. They are on Netflix, which is good.
Hmm. There's a lot of good films coming onto Netflix actually, and series. It's,
They've been spamming it with lots of stuff recently.
I guess, just to
wonder why.
rival Disney Plus. Yeah.
I think it's 'cause
Or
they've
to get
got
people through
80%
isolation.
more traffic at the moment.
That
Yeah.
Like, the
as well.
film I
yeah.
watched on Netflix wasn't really that good.
What?
I watched the new 47 Meters Down film from last
Ugh.
year. It was definitely inferior
the
to,
one with-
to the first one.
Oh, what have I watched from Disney Plus recently?
Is that the one, the underwater version of Alien? It's literally Alien but underwater.
It's just two girls and a shark.
Oh no, then I don't know that.
No,
film.
that was the first one was two girls in a cage, trapped in a cage with sharks coming at them. The second one is like four girls go into like an underwater ruin and then get hunted by blind sharks.
Are you sure
Do
you
the
watched
same
this on
thing again.
Netflix and not another not another website?
No, it is on Netflix.
Yeah, I watched this on Netflix.
Oh, Sam, the gallery's up today, isn't it?
Yes.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, the first episode.
I've watched it.
Is it
I've
good?
watched it. Yeah, it was good.
Is this the director's table one or not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was the director's table.
Okay, good.
They take like 5 minutes to focus on each director.
Okay. No, I do need to give that a watch. That one looked really
It was
interesting.
good.
Like I said last time, literally Taika Waititi, John Favreau, and Dave Filoni in a room together.
I mean,
It's
I
all I need.
Yeah,
So,
you have all these
do you
great
know how-
characters, and Bryce Dallas Howard is also there.
Oh yeah, Dave Filoni told his origin story.
I'm a bit annoyed with the X-Men on the Disney Plus. Like they haven't got
Oh,
all
yeah.
the X-Men films yet on there,
Oh.
which is
Well,
annoying.
Well, I guess they're still
Well,
filtering all the
They've only
Fox.
got 4 of them.
I want to know if they're gonna, because obviously they own Fox now. I want to know if they're going to put 2 new editions they have up. They, if anyone doesn't know about Fox being bought by Disney's, one of the companies they have is, I think it's called 2B Studios or something like that, and it is responsible for a certain series called Sword Art Online and
Ugh.
Darling in the Franxx is now owned by Disney. Both of those really trashy series are now fully owned by Disney, and I want to know if they're going to put it on Disney Plus.
No, probably not. There are a couple of 15s on Disney Plus. It surprised me, to be honest.
I think they need to put Logan on Disney Plus.
I'm
The amount of people
surprised
that will watch Logan.
Princess Bride is on that. That's one of the ones coming this, because I wonder why they took it off Netflix. It was because it's going on.
Yes, because that's owned by Fox, isn't it? That's part of the...
Oh yeah.
It's the
Is
same
it?
with why they have like Sister Act and all that on there.
Oh my god, yes, Sister Act. Wow.
I have it here.
It's
Is
so
it?
overexposed you can't see what it is.
Oh,
It's amazing.
When-
Yeah, it is very young.
there we go. Is it Fox?
Yeah, pretty sure.
I mean, it could have changed holders in between.
Yeah, I think it has.
It also could be its streaming rights as well, of course.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I guess so. That makes sense. Yeah, it's because it's
Christopher
Plus. It's
Robin.
I need to watch that. I do need to
Robin.
watch that.
What do you need to watch, Christopher
Oh,
Robin?
Yeah.
I'll watch that again this week.
Is it good?
And
Like,
like,
the
I love it.
I've
I
heard
love it.
very good
Hard,
things about that
hard
film.
the little girl.
I have seen it. It was an okay film. It was good.
There are some great cameos, and if you like watch Winnie the Pooh a lot when you were younger, there's really good nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's also quite sad, apparently.
Yes and no. It's really good and sad, and then in the last 15 minutes it goes all, oh crap,
Annoying.
we're a Disney film, let's be all happy and friendly and cheery.
But
And
it
it
was
just
so
ruins
good
it.
being a dark, like a
Yeah,
slightly
like the
darker
tone. Like the
take.
first time you see Winnie the Pooh, he's like completely on his own in a foggy forest, and he's like calling out for his friends, and no one comes.
Oh.
That's like the saddest thing.
Oh.
Oh, it's a great film. It's not yeah. It's just
And
it's
he
just
always voiced
enjoyable.
by the same guy who voices Krang
Oh.
in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows.
Wait, they've changed the voice. The voice actor used to be Peter Cullen for Eeyore. He used to be Optimus Prime.
No, it's not. It's the guy from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh.
He sounded better, though.
Capaldi is a voice in
Yeah,
is a
that's one of
voice
the
in
bad
Christopher
ones.
Robin.
Who does he voice?
The Owl. He's not Owl. He's Rabbit, isn't he? Or is it? No, he is Owl.
But he's only in it
Or, I
like
don't know.
10 seconds.
But
I think
Owl,
he's
Rabbit, and someone else. They're all and Roo. They're all like real animals, and it's just freaky.
Yeah, and everyone else is cuddly toys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Andrew, do you have any stuff?
I don't know. I will say I would recommend Sonic the Hedgehog because that was a pretty good film.
I do need to watch that. Admit, do you need to watch that? Any other films you watched recently? Series? Videos? Nothing?
I have been rewatching a bit of Blind Spot recently, so I would recommend that.
I haven't watched that. I haven't seen that.
Good job.
It's about
I
a
mean-
woman with magic tattoos.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
She has magic tattoos that predict crimes or something.
Isn't that the premise to Taboo
No,
Tattoo,
they're not-
that
they're
anime series?
Not magic.
It's the
No,
premise of every US cop show.
Is that Prison Break?
Ugh.
Wait, do you not like Prison Break?
no,
I
not
just
really.
can't get through it.
What?
Why do you? Well, it's got 5
It's
seasons, and what? Oh, I wonder what happens this season. They escape from a prison
No, that only happens in 3 seasons.
in 3.
In 3 seasons.
Okay, that's still 3.
Well,
3
All
of
I
the
know
5
about Prison
seasons.
Break is apparently
And the other
crap
two, they're
after the
breaking
first
into
season.
prison, right?
They no, okay, no, I tell a lie. It only happens in
In
2
the first
seasons.
one, Wentworth Miller
The
goes in to break him out.
Yeah, the first season they break out of prison, and the 5th season they break out of prison. The second season's them on the run,
What's the interest if they're
and
not in
the
prison?
3rd season is them breaking into a high security government facility.
So easy to get the good weapons.
Just watch the Shawshank.
Shawshank's a good film.
That's a good
Shawshank's
film.
a
I
good
mean,
film.
Flubber.
I'm going to
I
order
don't know
stuff
why.
off Amazon.
I've just got Flubber on my mind at the
Oh,
moment.
Flubber. It's a classic.
Love that film.
I guess that's a
It
film.
is a classic.
Hmm.
It's a classic. Whoa.
Like Sam did last week, I'm now ordering stuff off Amazon.
What are you ordering?
Yeah, we need to get someone to spend £300.
Yeah, we need to top.
No,
we need to
I'm
double
just
it.
I'm just going to spend like 45 quid.
On
That's
what?
all I'm
What
spending
you
is like
getting?
45 quid. I'm pre-ordering Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Birds of Prey, and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh,
Great.
Birds of Prey. Ooh.
Is Birds of Prey online now?
I have watched.
Yeah.
Yes, I have watched
Okay,
it.
good. Because I need
It
to
was
watch that
it was
again.
probably because it was 4 in, but I nearly fell asleep
I
watching
mean,
it.
I've got to admit, Birds of Prey was a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed
For
it.
me, it was about how I expected.
Not saying
was-
that I will watch it again at the moment. I don't think I'm ready to watch it again.
I am. I'll
But it's
definitely
a
watch
lot.
it again.
It's a lot. It was a lot better than what I expected.
I felt the action scenes were very well directed.
Yeah, the prison fight, how it's basically just directed as a music video, that was good. The visuals and that was a very cool fight scene.
But just got constantly annoyed from the cutting back to. Let's go back 5 minutes earlier to when I first.
I
And
definitely
you're like, just shut the fuck up. Just let the fight scene play out.
Yeah, that scene doesn't happen, Nathan, in the film.
I definitely
Does it not?
No, the
It's only in
headbutt
all the
scene.
films to annoy me.
The boo when she headbutts the camera, that's only in the
Yeah.
trailer.
Oh, it's in like the 3 second
I
trailer
definitely
now, and
remember the
hate it.
first half hour of the film, and then I just sort of like snapped back into existence like during the final fight. I'm just like, oh shit,
Yeah, that's
what's
most
been going
DC
on?
films.
I mean, to be honest,
You
it is
sit there and
literally.
go, oh, this is a film. This is bad. Did anyone else see Extraction yet?
No, I need to watch that.
No,
I
I
haven't.
want to watch it.
Alright.
Have you
Oh,
watched
but
it
that's
yet?
on, but that's
Yeah,
next.
I
That's
watched
for
it the day it
next
came
week's
out.
podcast.
What is it good or?
The script is bad, but the action is great. The action is fantastic.
Nice.
So
Well,
watch
it's
it for
directed
the
by a
action.
stunt coordinator, so they
Yeah,
that should
exactly.
say.
Yeah, but so is John Wick, and that's good in both.
And the raid. And they're great.
So that
Right.
is-
Well,
so that
John
is,
Wick doesn't necessarily have a great plot. It just doesn't care much about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
action
that's what
for
makes it
action.
Whereas,
Okay,
like,
I'm
it was, Extraction is written by, I think, Joe Russo, and
Yeah, Joe Russo.
like Chris Stuckman's review, he said, like, if it wasn't one of the Russo brothers who wrote it and they pitched it to someone, it's a film that wouldn't get made because it's such a generic script.
And
I
it's
mean,
not based on
yeah.
anything, is it? It's not based on a true story,
Probably
is it?
not, though.
No. Like stuff like 12 Horses was made because
12 horses, you mean 12 strong?
12 Strong. That's it. Because that was based on a real thing.
13 hours. Michael Bay.
Which one's 13 Hours?
13 hours is John Krasinski.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Ty's been eating this entire time.
And drinking, don't forget.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I've been drinking too.
I haven't. I'm severely malnourished and dehydrated.
I'm absolutely sozzled.
What's Steve?
It's from the last
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I was back. Is it Steve Tushy? Nope. I got that completely wrong, haven't I?
It's Stanley Tucci.
That's Stanley Tushy. Steve is his cousin.
That was a good one. That's a good one. Next week, we will be talking about Spirited Away,
Yep, my favourite film.
Extraction,
Oh, yeah,
Under
so
the
we got all
Silver
that.
Lake, and The Big Lebowski.
So I need to watch all of those
I
films.
need to find Under the Silver Lake
There you go. Now I have 5
and
Blu-rays
Big
pre-ordered.
Lebowski.
Yep.
And we've ended on someone making an unnecessary purchase again.
This is going to be a trend.
Oh, whoa, Miss Venia's story. Miss Venia's story. Come on, graphic
Well,
story.
you're not supposed to say her name though, are you? Because now she can
Oh,
sue
shit.
us.
You can edit. You can edit it out.
So there's this one time. This is my last. No, it's not. This is a real story.
This is your graphic teacher story.
This is an actually real story, and I think Ty was there. We were in a lesson in an IT room, and a chavvy kid puts on some rap music. And this teacher says out loud, "I don't see what's wrong with saying the word N-word." Very loud, out loud to a room full of kids. And she goes, "All them rappers and that say it. What's wrong with it?" That's a real story.
That's your graphic teacher story of the lesson of the podcast.
It is.
And it's a true story. So a teacher literally said that to a room of kids in a lesson. What is wrong with the N-word? Except she didn't say the N-word, she said the N-word.
The actual word.
She said the word.
Just to get the personal
She
cross.
has a voice where she shouts or whispers, so she was shouting.
Was it a hard R? Did she use the hard R or an A? It was the hard R.
It was a hard R, and she goes, but she was like, "I don't see what's wrong with it. If all the rappers can say it, then what's wrong with saying it?" And we were like, "You think it has something to do with slavery?" And she's like, "Yeah, but that's ages ago. It's not exactly relevant." Next week, Under the Silver Lake, Extraction, The Big Lebowski, and Spirited Away.
Spirited Away, yeah.
Which is
Thank you for joining.
my favourite film and Sam's favourite film.
Yes.
And then the week after, we'll do Ties, and it'll probably be something rubbish.
Spider-Man 3, isn't it? Yeah, Spider-Man 3 yours?
Oh yeah, we're gonna watch Spider-Man 3.
I haven't
That's
watched that
your
in a
favourite
long
film?
time.
I mean,
I
no,
have
but
to.
like, shut up. Spider-Man 3 is a great film. It's
I mean, it's
underrated.
better than Detective Pikachu.
Yes.
Right, that's a good note to end on. So
Thank
then,
you for watching.
yeah. Right then.
Hang on.
Oh,
Hang on.
Hang on.
hang on.
Hang on.
We gotta run this up
Hang
to
on.
an hour
Doing
and a half.
Dude,
Whoa,
we have 2
we've been-
hours.
There you go. Have fun editing that, Nathan.
He doesn't really have to edit it. Just cut out a few little sections.
I
and
have to
then
cut out me saying the C word.
Oh yeah.
A couple of and this conversation.
Yeah.
That's an ad for a blender.
So what are you adding? You said hang on.
Oh, what's he doing?
Okay then.
You do realise you can.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. That's the note we're ending on. The character Zilla, so one of the kids of the